I'm 74 years old, and I need you to hear me, because what I'm about to tell you might make you uncomfortable. Everything you've been taught about getting older is wrong. And the saddest part is this: the people who raised you, taught you, and prepared you for life didn't lie on purpose. They just didn't know any better. I didn't either. For the first half of my life, I did exactly what I was supposed to do. I worked hard. I showed up early. I stayed late. I chased promotions. I paid the mortgage. I told myself this is what being responsible looks like. And everyone around me nodded and said, "You're doing great." At 51, I believed I had won. Good job, nice house, respect from people who barely knew me. I thought peace was right around the corner. Then, one Tuesday morning, my heart stopped. Not metaphorically, literally. I was standing in a conference room, arguing about numbers that don't exist anymore, when my chest tightened like someone had wrapped a belt around it and pulled. The room blurred, the voices faded, and the next thing I knew, I woke up under fluorescent lights with machines breathing for me, and my wife gripping my hand like she was afraid I'd disappear if she let go. The doctor said, "You're lucky." Lucky. Lying there staring at a ceiling tile with a crack shaped like a lightning bolt, I realized something terrifying. If I had died that day, my life would have looked impressive and meant almost nothing. I would have left behind a garage full of stuff, a resume nobody would read, and a version of myself that never really showed up for the people who mattered most. I had spent decades preparing for a future I never arrived at. Here's the lie you're telling yourself right now, and I know because I told it to myself too. I have time. I'll slow down later. I'll fix that relationship when things calm down. I'll take that trip when I can afford it. I'll enjoy life once I've earned it. Let me tell you something nobody likes to say out loud. Later is a myth. There is no moment when life taps you on the shoulder and says, "Okay, now you can breathe." The workload grows. The bills multiply. The responsibilities stack up. And suddenly, you're old enough to need reading glasses, wondering how the years disappeared so quietly. I had a friend, Tom, built a business from nothing, worked every weekend, missed birthdays, anniversaries, dinners. At his funeral, his daughter stood up and said, "My dad was a great provider, but I don't really know who he was." That sentence hit harder than any heart attack. Your regrets won't come from the things you tried and failed at. They'll come from the calls you didn't make, the apologies you postponed, the dreams you talked yourself out of because they weren't practical. I don't regret the deals that fell through. I regret the nights I chose emails over my kids, the vacations I canceled, the conversations I rushed, the love I assumed I could express later, because later never showed up. After my heart attack, I finally did something radical. I stopped living like time was infinite. I stepped back. I said no to money, to status, to expectations that weren't mine. And I said yes to mornings that mattered, to people who mattered, to a life that actually felt like living. And you know what shocked me? Nothing collapsed. The world didn't end because I slowed down. The people who only valued me for what I produced drifted away, and the ones who loved me stayed. That's how you know who matters. If you died tonight, not someday, not in old age, would you be proud of how you spent your time? Not impressed, not admired, proud. Would you feel complete or interrupted? I have grandchildren now, and when I watch them scroll through their phones, stressed and exhausted before life has even started, I see myself. I want to grab them and say, "Please don't wait as long as I did." But wisdom is cruel that way. You only get it after you needed it most. So I'm telling you instead. Stop waiting. Stop negotiating with your future. Stop trading your health, your relationships, your joy for approval you won't remember. Call your parents. Take the trip. Say the thing. Do the work that feels meaningful to you, not impressive to strangers. Live like time is precious, because it is. I don't know how many years I have left, 10, 15, maybe less. But I can tell you this with absolute certainty. The last chapter of my life, when I finally slowed down, paid attention, and lived on purpose, has been the most meaningful one. Don't wait 50 years to learn that lesson. Someday isn't coming. You're standing in it right now. The clock is ticking. What are you going to do with your time?